Tesla is reportedly conducting preparation work in China to launch a refreshed Model Y from Giga Shanghai. According to Bloomberg, mass production may start as soon as mid-2024. The 2024 version of the Model Y will have much more obvious exterior and interior changes than the most recent update in October, which will basically make it look like the refreshed Model 3. And obviously I know because I got this crystal ball now, so I can tell the future. Actually, behind the scenes, this is exactly what I have been using. So far, it has proven not to be defective. Based on the old rumors, which we got right before the investor day, the Model Y was supposed to be refreshed towards the end of 2024, but seems like Tesla is pushing up that deadline, which is really good news. And it will probably look something like this. I really like the refreshed Model 3, and I think the refreshed Model Y will also look really good. Based on the old rumors, it was expected that the refresh would come in October. But now I'm expecting June or July. Investors seem to like the news because Tesla stock this morning jumped. Ideally, I would want Tesla to launch the refresh Model Y in all of the factories all at once. But that's probably not all that realistic, and Tesla probably also wants to see if there are any issues with the new design. But because of the refresh Model 3, by then, they should have worked out all of the kinks and issues, so maybe that is not going to be the case. And maybe indeed the refresh happens in all of the factories all at once. But more likely, I think we will see Giga Shanghai make the Model Y first, and then all of the other factories will follow. That strategy is a bit safer, I think, because you might have issues that you may not have thought of, and this way you can fix everything before it's really too late. But we risk slowing sales because everyone is going to know, a refresh is coming out, so why should we buy the old Model Y now? Unless Tesla gives us a big discount. It is weird though that we are not hearing anything about the refresh Model 3 here in the US. We got another Cybertruck update. Tesla is sending out more Cybertruck Foundation Series invite emails right now. This is now the 5th wave, and source says that 60% of the people that received an email to place their order, 60% of them actually followed through and placed an order. The all-wheel drive version is still the most popular one, not the tri-motor version. And if you have already ordered your Foundation Series Cybertruck, so not just placed a reservation but actually ordered it, please go to Sawyer's profile, find this link, and add your details so that we know exactly how many people actually followed through with an order. So far we have 366 confirmed submissions. Actually make that 429 now, and 24.5% of all the people have actually opted in to purchase the range extender, which requires a $500 non-refundable deposit, and 64.6% of all the people choose the all-wheel drive option, and about 35% choose the Cyber Beast option. We are also seeing multiple people being invited to configure 2 Cybertrucks at a time if they placed a reservation for 2 Cybertrucks earlier. Some Cybertruck reservation holders were afraid that Tesla may skip their second or third reservation and just go to other people and then come back to them much later, but that's not the case. Seems like Tesla is just looking at the order of the reservation list and it's just going through that list. So if you have multiple reservations, you are able to get multiple Cybertrucks right now without having to wait a lot longer. But reselling these Cybertrucks, yeah, that may not really be possible. So it's really just for your own use mostly, unless you want to rent these Cybertrucks out. That's probably a pretty lucrative business for the next 12 or maybe 24 months. However, there is this one case where someone had 2 reservations and Tesla called this customer and asked to give up 1 reservation, so he had to choose just 1. So it appears that people who were able to get multiple Cybertrucks at the same time, yeah, that was all a glitch on Tesla's website. But Tesla is likely to change the policy in the next few months maybe. Because if you think about it, some families have multiple Teslas, so they would want multiple Cybertrucks. But I guess if it's in a different name, then it's okay. It just cannot be multiple Cybertrucks under one name. Here's the Cybertruck lot from yesterday, and here it is today. Joe Tagmeyer says that production has pretty much stopped and that it will resume after the new year. In Q3, the US pickup market equal to 731,000 units, so it analyzes to about 3 million per year. Add Canada on top of that, and you got 3.5 million per year, and that's the segment that Cybertruck will be attacking. James thinks that long-term, Cybertruck will sell 500,000 per year for a 14% market share. I think that's fairly reasonable. Eventually, that number could be even higher, though. The Cybertruck will actually be attacking a 50,000 per year BEV pickup market led by the Lightning and the R1T, says a Tesla bear. I think that's a very embarrassing statement to me because James points out it's 2023 with the Model Y being the #1 vehicle in the whole world. How can you only be taking market share away just from other electric vehicles? That makes no sense. And look at the reply. The only US market, BEVs in general, are marginally taking a few more percentage points from ICE vehicles, is the subsidy capital of the US, otherwise known as California. There is not a large market for an awkward looking expensive battery, only unproven pickup truck. This is who we are competing against. We bring up a fact that makes sense, and that fact is overlooked, and then something else is basically brought up. People were saying that the Model Y was just a bigger Model 3, so therefore it will not really sell that many more units, and it will just cannibalize Model 3, but that did not really happen at all. The Cybertruck is now entering stage 5, where the bears want their mommy because the new product will become the category bestseller within 2 years. Tesla has done it with the Model 3, with the Model Y, and now it's about to do it with the Cybertruck. Surprisingly, we are not seeing more Tesla stock purchases from ARK Invest. They made a fairly significant purchase not a long time ago, and usually when ARK Invest starts buying Tesla stock, they keep buying multiple times, but maybe not this time. Before, she has been called a devout Christian, so maybe she's just taking some time off. But I seriously doubt that's the case, simply because if you look at what happened exactly 1 year ago, this is a screenshot from 2022, December 27th, she was buying Tesla stock back then. But don't worry, I'm buying Tesla stock just as enthusiastically as before. But I am happier to buy Tesla stock on bigger dips, so maybe not as enthusiastically, but I'm still very happy to buy a lot more Tesla stock. Uber is partnering with Tesla to enter Japan's taxi market. Uber will initially roll out 30 Tesla Model Ys, increasing that to 100 during 2024. Pricing will be roughly 20% higher than the typical cost of a local taxi. Someone says, I wish there was an order Tesla option inside of Uber. 90% of the time when I'm ordering green, a Prius comes. Japan's car market is massive, but Tesla is not selling almost any vehicles over there. So I view this as good news because maybe it will change the perception of Tesla over there a little bit, and maybe people will experience the Tesla experience and will actually want to own a Tesla. But the Japanese are extremely loyal to their own companies, so it's a bit of a tough market for Tesla. In the meantime, in South Korea though, Tesla is totally crushing it. In response to market rumors that Tesla Shanghai factory will produce a new version of the Model Y, Tesla China told reporters that this is false information. This is no surprise, Tesla is really supposed to say that. And on top of that, Tesla China has not exactly been truthful with what they have said before. For example, they said that no price cuts were coming, and then they happened. Even Sawyer points that out here as well. So Tesla denying this to me doesn't mean much. We see quite a few Cybertrucks parked at the Giga Texas parking lot, but currently we only see 9.6% of all of the Tesla showrooms with a Cybertruck, but that's still good because it's up from 5.5% a few weeks ago. Although thinking about this, I don't know if it's really good to have a lot of them in these showrooms because you have so many reservations anyway, so just sell them. Here are all of the locations that have a Cybertruck. Go check it out if you haven't yet. I highly recommend it. Toyota actually doubled its EV sales, so that's a big deal, right? Well, Toyota's EV sales still only account for just 1% of its total volume. So Toyota is continuing to Kodak. I believe this is in the US specifically. The average price for a new EV in November was $52,000 compared with $48,000 for a gasoline-powered vehicle. If you actually include a $7,500 EV tax credit, then a new EV is now cheaper than a gas-powered vehicle. But this includes all of the vehicles, and there are a lot more huge, enormous gas-powered vehicles than there are huge EV. So this number is not exactly completely accurate. It still makes sense that many people are choosing gas-powered vehicles. I mean, not really, but to them it does. This would be good news for Tesla. Actually, in Canada, they are exploring an inclusion of used EVs in this federal rebate program, which should increase the resale value of your Tesla, which perhaps is going to make more people more likely to upgrade to the newest Tesla, especially when the refresh Model 3 comes out. But a lot of the details about the potential program remain extremely unclear. Oh, 2 US senators have written to Elon Musk calling on him to swiftly recall any steering and suspension parts that pose a safety risk. Which political party do these 2 senators belong to? It's the Democratic Party. Both of them. And one of them, this guy, is one of the richest members of the Senate with a net worth of over $100 million. This pressure from these lawmakers comes from this Reuters report, really, which was published fairly recently. For example, it says that Tesla owners have filed about 260 complaints with NHTSA over suspension and steering problems this year, compared to about 750 for GM and 230 for Toyota. That makes Tesla's complaint rate far higher when considering the number of GM and Toyota vehicles on the road. GM has a 21% market share, and Toyota has 15%, but Tesla only has 1%. Tesla voluntarily recalled some of these parts in China, actually, but not in the US. And Tesla explains that by saying it did not want to upset the regulators, and it happened when the Model Y was ramping quickly. So it did not want to have any issues with the government, so it just chose to voluntarily recall it. But they say that there was no problem, really. Interestingly, NHTSA has actually looked into this issue and has not ordered Tesla to do a recall. So is there really an issue with some of these parts? Well, they don't seem to be as good, but are they that bad to a point that they are actually defective? The Reuters story does have a lot of anecdotes in it about people having issues with some of these parts, but how come NHTSA did not ask Tesla to do a recall is my main question here. There does seem to be an issue to me, but maybe it's just not all that serious, but we'll see. Dan Ives has a bullish comment about Tesla. Tesla is tracking slightly ahead of the 480,000 delivery unit bogey for Q4 based on strong data out of the key China region that gives us incremental confidence in our bullish call into 2024. I think Tesla is pushing as hard as it possibly can to make sure that final number is over that 1.8 million vehicle delivery target. We should have delivery numbers in about 1 week. And I am starting a new channel, Wow with Matt. One reason why is because I observed if you are perceived more as an entertainer, then you are a lot less likely to be canceled. And I want to dive into some controversial topics later on. So if this channel becomes bigger, where I just react to some funny videos and then comment and then occasionally cover something controversial as well, then I think that puts me in a better position to later on cover very controversial topics. To subscribe, simply click on the link below in the description of this video. Later this week, I will upload at least 2 Patreon videos. If you haven't seen this one from earlier, my long-term plans, watch it. And I will see you in the next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet.